What happens when a 14-year-old girl refuses to speak in front of President Trump, blaming him for a water crisis affecting her town? The crowd at Willow Creek Middle School didn't expect the shock that followed. Kaelia Marwood, a young student from a quiet rural town, stood backstage gripping her notebook, her heart racing. As her name was called again, she couldn't move. She had just found out Trump was in the audience. Suddenly, the speech she had prepared felt impossible. Her mom had always said he was to blame for their town's suffering, and now, here he was. Kaelia's silent stand turned the school's annual speech showcase into an unforgettable moment that stunned everyone and sparked a fierce debate. This year's event had an unexpected guest, President Trump, who made a surprise visit to the town as part of his effort to connect with rural communities across America. Principal Lenora Hadley announced his visit just hours before, hoping his presence would motivate the students. Trump sat in the front row, surrounded by his security team, quietly listening as students delivered speeches on topics like park renovations and school funding. But when it was Kaelia Marwood's turn, something changed. Mrs. Hadley approached the microphone with a warm smile and said, "Next, we have Kaelia Marwood, who will be speaking about challenges in our community. Kaelia, please come to the stage." The audience responded with polite applause, unaware of the moment that was about to unfold. But Kaelia didn't come out. Mrs. Hadley waited a moment, then called again. "Kaelia Marwood, we're ready for you." Still, no sign of her. A teacher backstage whispered something to the principal, who nodded and addressed the crowd. "Let's give Kaelia a moment, folks. She might be a little nervous." The audience murmured, some parents glancing at each other, curious about the delay. Behind the curtain, Kaelia stood frozen, her notebook shaking in her hands. Her best friend, Sienna Drayton, leaned in and whispered, "Kaelia, they're waiting for you. You worked so hard on your speech." Kaelia shook her head, her voice barely above a whisper. "I can't, Sienna. Not with him out there." "Who?" Sienna asked, confused. Kaelia's eyes hardened. "President Trump. My mom told me what he did to our town. I'm not speaking in front of him." Sienna hesitated, unsure what to say, as Mrs. Hadley's voice came through once more, now with concern. "Kaelia, we'd love to hear from you. Please join us on stage." The audience waited as the clapping faded into an awkward silence. Mrs. Hadley glanced at President Trump, who raised an eyebrow but stayed quiet. After a third call, with still no sign of Kaelia, the principal chose to move on. "Well, while we wait for Kaelia, we're honored to have a very special guest with us today. Please welcome the President of the United States, Donald Trump, to say a few words." The crowd broke into applause as Trump stood, gave a brief wave, and walked to the podium. His security team stayed alert nearby as he adjusted the microphone. Thank you everyone. It's great to be here at Willow Creek Middle School. A fantastic place, really fantastic," he said, his voice warm but firm. "I came here today to hear from the students, the future of our country, because you kids have some of the best ideas, let me tell you. I've been listening to your speeches, and I'm impressed, very impressed. But I heard there's a young lady, Kaelia, who's supposed to speak next." "Where's Kaelia at? Let's get her up here. I'd love to hear what she has to say," Trump said, prompting another round of applause as some in the audience looked around, hoping she'd appear. Mrs. Hadley signaled to a teacher, who quickly went backstage. Moments later, the teacher returned with Kaelia, who walked slowly toward the stage, clutching her notebook. The crowd cheered supportively, but Kaelia's face showed no excitement. She stopped a few feet from Trump, eyes fixed on the floor. Trump smiled and stepped aside from the podium. "There she is, Kaelia, right? Come on up, let's hear your speech. I'm sure it's going to be tremendous." But Kaelia didn't move. She looked up at him, her voice low but steady. "I'm not giving my speech." The room fell silent, caught off guard. Trump tilted his head, still smiling. "Not giving your speech? Why not? You're here, you've got your notebook. Looks like you're ready to go." Kaelia shook her head, her voice rising. "I'm not speaking in front of you. My mom hates you, and so do I. I don't even want to be up here." A gasp swept through the crowd. Mrs. Hadley stepped forward gently. "Kaelia, that's not appropriate. Let's—" But Trump raised a hand, stopping her, his expression calm. No, it's okay. Let her speak. I want to hear this. He looked at Kaelia. Why does your mom hate me? Why don't you want to be up here with me? I'm here to listen. Kaelia hesitated, glancing at her mother, Kaelia Marwood, who sat in the audience, hands clenched. Taryn gave a small, reassuring nod. Kaelia took a shaky breath, her voice trembling but steady. My mom says your new rules let a factory dump waste into our town's water. Now it's dirty. We can't drink it. My little brother Rowan is only 6 and he's been sick for weeks. We can't afford bottled water every day, and my mom works 2 jobs just to keep us going. You're the president. You made those rules. And now my family's hurting. That's why I won't speak in front of you. The room went quiet, the weight of her words settling over everyone. Trump's smile faded, replaced by a thoughtful expression. He stepped closer, his voice softer. That's a serious thing you're saying, Kaelia. I'm sorry to hear about your brother, I really am. Let's talk about this. You're saying a factory in your town is polluting the water because of changes we made. Kaelia nodded, her eyes fierce. Yes. My mom says you changed the laws so companies can do whatever they want, and now we're paying the price. Trump nodded slowly, his tone calm. Okay, I hear you. Let me explain something, because I think you're a smart young lady, and you deserve a real answer. They deserve to know the whole picture. My administration, look, we've been working hard to help businesses grow, create jobs, and bring money back to towns like yours. That matters, right? Jobs mean people can work, support their families. But I never intended for any of that to come at the expense of families getting hurt. If what you're saying is true, that's not okay. Trump looked directly at Kaelia. Tell me more about this factory. What's happening? Kaelia blinked, caught off guard by his tone, but her anger held firm. It's called Vidian Chemicals. They came to our town right after you became president again. My mom says they got a permit to dump waste because you changed the rules and made it easier. Now our water tastes like metal, and Rowan keeps throwing up. The doctor says it's because of the water, but we can't do anything about it. Why didn't you stop them? Kaelia asked, her voice breaking. Trump's expression turned serious. Vidian Chemicals, huh? I'll be honest, I didn't personally approve that permit, but I'm responsible for what my administration does, and I hear you. I don't like what I'm hearing. No one should have to live with dirty water, especially not kids like your brother. He paused, then asked, has your town tried to get help? What's been done so far? Kaeya's voice cracked as she replied, my mom and some other parents went to the town council, but they said there's nothing they can do because the factory's following the law. They told us to buy bottled water, but we can't afford it all the time. My mom's been saving to move us somewhere else, but we don't have enough yet. It's not fair. Trump nodded, his voice steady. You're right, it's not fair. No family should feel stuck like that. Look, I've got a lot of people working for me, smart people, the best, and I'm going to make sure my team looks into this, Trump said firmly. Clean water is a priority for everyone. But I also have to balance things. You get that, right? We can't just shut down every factory or people lose jobs. What do you think we should do? Kaelia frowned, caught off guard. I don't know. But I think you should make the factory stop dumping stuff in our water and help us get clean water now, not later. My brother can't wait. Trump nodded. Fair point, Kaelia. I like that you're thinking about solutions. Here's what I'm going to do. I'll have my team investigate Vidian Chemicals, look into that permit, and make sure they're not breaking any rules. And I'll get clean water to your town right away. Emergency supplies, whatever you need. How does that sound? Kaelia tightened her grip on her notebook, hesitating. You're really going to do that? You're not just saying it? Trump smiled, his voice steady. I don't just say things, Kaelia. I get things done. You'll see. My team will be on this the moment I leave here today, I promise. Kaelia glanced at her mother, who offered a small, hopeful smile. But even then, Kaelia wasn't quite ready to let go of her frustration. Why did you even change the rules in the first place? Kaelia asked, her voice sharp. If you hadn't, none of this would have happened. Trump took a deep breath, his tone calm but steady. That's a fair question. Let me explain. When I took office, a lot of businesses were struggling. They said the rules were too strict, too many regulations, and it was stopping them from growing. So we loosened some of those rules to help bring jobs back, especially to towns like yours that really needed them. But if those changes are hurting families like yours, then we need to take a closer look and fix it. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. But I listen, and I'm listening to you right now. He paused, then added, "Is it just the water? Or is there more going on in your town?" Kaelia thought for a moment before answering. "It's not just the water. The factory is loud all the time, and the air smells weird, like chemicals. My mom says more people are getting sick lately, not just Rowan. But the water's the worst part." Trump nodded. "Got it. Noise, air quality, health issues. That's a lot for a small town to handle. I'm going to make sure my team looks into all of it, not just the water. We'll send experts, people who know what they're doing, to check everything. You have my word." Suddenly, a man in the audience stood up, unable to stay silent. "Mr. President, with all due respect, we've been trying to get help for months. Why hasn't anyone listened until now?" Trump turned to him, still calm. "I hear you, sir, and I'm sorry it's taken this long. I've got a big country to run, a lot on my plate, but that's no excuse. I'm here now, and I'm going to make this right. What's your name?" The man replied, "Elton Warwick. I live 3 streets down from Kaelia's family." Trump nodded. "Elton, thank you for speaking up. You'll see action on this, I promise. My team will reach out to you and the rest of the community to get the full story." Kaelia spoke again, her voice softer, but firm. "What if nothing changes? What if the factory keeps doing what it's doing?" Trump looked at her, his expression serious. "If that happens, you come back to me. I'm the president. I have people who can make things happen, but I don't think it'll come to that. We're going to get this sorted out. You trust me on that?" Kaelia hesitated, then nodded slightly. "I guess I have to." Trump smiled and stepped back to the podium. "Kaelia, I know you don't want to give your speech today, and that's okay. I respect that. But I hope you'll let me hear it another time, because I bet it's a great one. You've got a strong voice, young lady, and I'm glad you used it today." He turned to the audience. "Let's give Kaelia a big hand for her courage." The crowd applauded, some parents wiping away tears, others nodding in support. Kaelia stepped down from the stage, still clutching her notebook, and returned to her mother's side. Trump continued his speech about the importance of listening to communities, but his words about Kaelia's town stayed with everyone. As the event ended, Trump waved to the crowd, shook hands with Mrs. Hadley, and left the auditorium. His security team was already on the phone with staff, starting the investigation. If this moment touched you, take a moment to think about the issues Kaelia raised: clean water, community safety, and holding leaders accountable. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Legendary Stories for more moments that challenge, inspire, and bring us closer.